I'm kidding. We all know that the reason he looks like this, miserable, terrible, worn out, like a scrotum with a toupee, the reason Sean Hannity looks just as ragged as a train's vagina, the reason, don't ask me to explain that one. It's got its story. But the reason he looks as bagged out as he does is because not only is he's seen the internal Trump polls and he's mad, but also, if I may, he's interviewing Melania Trump because he has to. Because Trump has insisted that he help his wife sell the book. And it's why Sean Hannity is doing most of the actual talking in the interview. He hates it. He hates having to do it. He fucking hates her. He's not even sure he likes Trump. It doesn't matter. Like this is one of those moments that reminds Sean Hannity that he is, in terms of media, he is the Charmin of the paper industry. Some people are the Bible. What they say and put out into the universe will be known here ever after by, increasingly kooky versions of the public. But other people are the newspaper of record. Well, people will go back and reference articles written a long time ago. And then there are those that are like recyclable. Maybe some of what they're doing will come back later in another form, but basically that's it. And then there are the single-ply truck stop toilet paper of media. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what Sean Hannity does for a living. Sean Hannity pisses into the wind every night and goes home with a wet face for a living. And at the end of that, there's not even a bunch of fetishists out there who get to spank it watching that happen. It's just, it evaporates. Because I will stand by, I got to say, because I deal with the current stories that are going on in the news on the regular, I understand that a lot of my live streams don't apply to the current because they were specific to an incident that may have passed or whatever. But the comedy stands up. The fecus moments, the preacher we had visit us this morning on the morning show, right? It stands up. You can look back and go, I remember what he was talking about then, but it's just funny because it's fucking funny. And if I can give you a laugh anyways, I'm good. You're like, I'm laughing, I didn't get the reference. This is hilarious. That's plenty. That means I've done something lasting, okay? This is the face of a man who knows he is single-ply truck stop toilet paper. And you can put that in a gold box and you can carry it around and have idiots pray to it, but it's never going to be more until it's less. All right. So that, just on that note, if I may,
I agree. I'm a dope.
Let's jump into Sean Handringer, Sean Handmaid's Tale, interview with Melania Trump, because he's gotta.
Now, last night we showed you part one of my interview with former First Lady Melania Trump.
Yeah, and thanks for breaking it up, because it was just too much to take all at once.
We discussed her new book, Melania, and the...
which is, I believe, about an infection. Acute Melania.
Assassination attempts against her husband. Here's part two. Let me get to the assassination. And I watched her.
And again, she can't help it. And they say, let me get to the assassination. A quiet smile creeps across her face every fucking time. It's not just me, right? It's like she's like, I'm going back to the moment when I first heard Sean. I had so much hope in my heart. Oh my God. Let's go back to the first assassination.
Interview with Ainsley, and I watched the full hour, and I watched it on the morning show.
Really? You watched it twice? So let me get this right. The details that you're about to talk about from that interview You've seen it twice, and you're going to get it wrong again.
I know where I was at that time.
And the person I was with assigned an NDA, so I really can't, I can't elaborate further.
I agree. I'm a dope. When I saw the blood, and I've been a shooter my whole life, I thought that maybe he got hit much worse.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Do you think somebody who shoots a lot or shoots very little would think he got hit worse by the amount of blood or the lack of blood? Real quick, anybody in the chat room, a serious question. Any people who don't really mess around with guns or whatever, but have seen a good deal of, I don't know, fucking Saving Private Ryan kind of movies and shit like that, where you see people who really get shot and they don't bleed a lot at first, and then, oh my fucking God. Abdominal shots can be like that. The black liver blood that they always talk about, like, uh-oh, this is way worse. Or you've hit the stomach and it's worse because you've got acid leaking into the system and that kind of, right? Those kind of things. Yeah. Whereas, how many of you gone like, oh, head wound bleeds like a motherfucker, but you're going to be okay? Right? Being grazed in the head bleeds way more than a shot in the abdomen, which is killing you. But anyways, this continues to annoy me. This motherfucker.
Did you think that?
I thought that too. When
You
I
saw
saw
the blood?
it, first of all, when he was on the floor for a while,
Yeah.
and you don't know for those seconds, minutes, you don't know what's really going on.
Okay, wait. She didn't see it live. He watched the interview, we watched the interview. She didn't see it live. She saw it minutes afterwards. He was already in the car. They had already told her what was up. She went back and watched it. She wasn't like, oh my God, is he going to be okay? Motherfucker, it's the season finale and you're halfway into the next season. You know he's okay. That's why your son was riled up. He was mad. He wasn't scared. He was angry. Why was he angry? Because he knew he wasn't harmed. He was pissed he got shot at in the first place. We know this. She knows this. Hannity just told us he watched it twice, and then he's going to sit there and go, yeah, yeah, must have been terrible for you. No, it wasn't. I mean, I will say, it's horrifying when you're watching someone that you love that go through something even after the fact. But you're not wondering what the fuck happened if they're sitting on the couch next to you.
You don't know that. I didn't know that he was hit in the ear. You always question what it could be. And
Sorry, after you were told what it is by his Secret Service detail and his chief of staff, and then I guess him.
so was really frightening. And, the life stops in that few minutes.
The life. Your life. Everything stops. I get where you're going. Again, English is her seventh language. She's a genius. And who am I to question? But the life does not stop. Your life feels like it's stopping.
Was really very difficult.
And you found...
Look at that. Doc Jack Brown, please tell me you've looked at this shit. Look at the hidden joy. Can we just fucking not... She's like... Watch her fucking cheat smirk right at the end of it.
Was really very difficult.
And you...
It was really difficult. Jesus Christ. It was really difficult to hear that he was going to be okay.
You found out shortly thereafter he was okay.
Yes.
And...
No. She found out he was okay. They told her he was okay. That he was just grazed. He's fine. He's going to the hospital, but he was shot at and other people were hurt, and then she saw it. We already saw this. You saw this, Sean, you dumb motherfucker.
I agree. I'm a dope. And so then West Palm Beach happens at Trump International, the golf course.
All right. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes I forget it's a golf course. I always think of it as south of the airport, the old graveyard.
So I want to be very, very clear. And both you and President Trump have praised the Secret Service. The guys in Butler that dove on him, and they actually hurt him.
Guys? They actually hurt him?
It's kind of an untold story. I heard he was black and blue.
Yes, he was.
Beaten up pretty bad.
Excuse me. Look, if Melania wants to blame the Secret Service for the bruises she inflicts on him during the elder abuse fantasy that they do, that's up to them.
And they were amazing. They were heroic. The Bible tells us no greater love hath man but to lay down their life for another, right?
Yeah, it also says, if you ever meet a poor person, Sean, lend them everything they need to get back on their feet. Everything. And every 7 years, don't ask for anything back. Look, I understand. We're picking and choosing.
And they will risk their lives for your husband in this case.
Yes.
Yeah, but they understand they're not risking their life for him. The Secret Service, if they had to just, I don't like that fucker, I'm not gonna. If they have to understand that they're protecting these candidates and these people in office for the continuity of the government of the fucking country. They do it for the love of the country, not the individual person. Individuals are flawed. They may decide one day they wouldn't be as fast on the fucking draw as they might one other day to protect that person if it was all about the personality or some sort of sycophantic relationship with this asshole. They do it because if he gets killed, it throws the fucking country into turmoil. I agree, Prince Caspian. God does indeed love me. She's very nice.
And they were amazing, and they were amazing in West Palm Beach. I'd gone to breakfast that morning with the president's golf partner, Steve Whitcomb.
I heard, yes, I heard.
And he told
Wait a minute. People have been wondering, how could the shooter have known? Who on the inside may have leaked the information that Steve Witkoff and Donald Trump would be golfing that day, later that day, and who would know about the last-minute decision better than somebody that had maybe had breakfast with one of these people?
told me the whole story. Here's where I get angry, and I want answers.
I'm going to guess during writers' meetings for your show, during prep, when you're yelling at your fucking family like an asshole at work. Which I overheard at Fox. The shouting that was going on, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Back in the old days when they used to invite me on Red Eye before they were chicken shit.
I agree. I'm a dope. And I saw your video that you put out. How is it possible that a would-be assassin gets 130 yards away on the top of a roof in Butler, Pennsylvania, with an AR-15 and a rangefinder, and gets off 4 shots at your husband and comes within a millimeter of assassinating him?
I know this one. I know that's one. I know. I know that's one. Don't ask her. Ask me. Okay, I'll let her answer. I'm gonna let you finish, right? But honestly, House Parks had the best video on this that I have got to say.
West Palm Beach. This is a known area.
Let her answer the fucking question, shitheel.
Around holes 4, 5, 6, 7, where paparazzi would hang out. So it would have been less than 300 yards probably by the time this would-be assassin took a shot at your husband.
And does it bother you that real assassins who are really committed to this kind of thing, that actually are into this on a massive scale, could do it from 1.5 miles away and nobody would ever fucking see them? Right? Instead of 2 dipshits who need to get close because they're using AR-15s, like neither of them have a sniper rifle, right? Neither of them have a long-range hunting rifle. They're just, you know, amosexual dickheads.
It is a colossal failure. The agents around your husband.
By the way, excuse me, in defense of the Secret Service, Trump International Golf Course is a colossal failure. I would like to say it's wedged in between a jail, a strip club, a high school, a storage place, a cemetery, and a gun range. It's a dump. It's south of the airport. You get jet exhaust from it. It literally is one of those places where like small planes crash there if they run out, if they have an issue when they're taking off. They circle around and ditch on the golf course.
Were heroes.
They were fantastic.
But they didn't sweep the area.
Correct. Those men with my husband and with me, the man with me and my husband, they're fantastic.
So the men that are with you are fantastic. That's good. They're fantastic men. These men are fantastic. His aren't, you know, they're okay. They're pretty good. But yours are fantastic.
But
yeah, also, yeah, good point. What about the women? Because you do realize there were a couple of women there too, Sean, that jumped on top of them, that covered them. As a matter of fact, the one that was actually facing out to the crowd was a woman. The men, a couple of them were behind him, and believe me, he's got the kind of torso that could absorb a projectile or two.
I feel it's the top leadership that there are some holes and there are some problems. So it comes from the top leadership that happened. And I know...
Real quick. They can only do as much as the candidate allows them to do. He's not the president. They're not places they have to get him to. So he wants to go someplace like golf on his own fucking golf course at the last minute. He just tells them, and they got to do the best they can. You know who the top leadership of Trump's Secret Service detail is? You know who that is? Him. Because he makes executive choices that, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to go golfing, fuck you guys. And they've got to go as fast as they can and do a short shrift job of covering his ass while he's running around randomly picking places to go. They don't have this problem in most of these, even fundraising dinners and shit like that. They have weeks and stuff to prepare. Even the Butler thing was like, what, 8 days? And he wasn't even sure they were going to do it. They were clearing like 6 other fucking places.
And I have a knowledge about that. Our team asked many times for more security, more help, and they were denied.
Okay, everywhere in all of these situations, after the sweep happens, and by the way, the shooter in Butler was not there during the sweep. The Secret Service did. He came later. He flew a drone right over the area, but they didn't coordinate. The locals didn't coordinate anything about it to the Secret Service, and the Secret Service didn't ask them about it. And it's not illegal, and he didn't fly over the place. He flew around it, right? And these motherfuckers are all like, freedom and freedom and freedom and freedom. And you can't do anything until the guy doesn't. Again, the shooter in Butler was a legal gun owner until he wasn't. Until 8 shots before he died, he was a legal gun owner. Now, what happened? How did he get that close, Sean? Super easy. The local cops pulled the 2 guys that were watching the roof away to go look for him on the ground because that's where people had seen him. And then by the time people were going, he's on the roof, they had already left their position and nobody had a bird's eye view of where he was until he popped his head up over the roof, and the Secret Service guys who ultimately took him out could see him. The guys who were supposed to cover the roof left their station. Why? Because they were told there was a guy walking around with a gun, and they were brought down to look at him. Instead of compartmentalizing and going, everybody keep an eye out for this guy, stay where you are. If he enters any of these primary things, there should be zone names on all these things. If he's in a zone 1 or a zone 2, we got to pull the president out of there. They didn't do any of that shit. Was it a dropped ball? Sure. Was there a lack of coordination? Absolutely. Was it partly because Trump fucking bum rushes this dipshittery everywhere he goes and doesn't give them enough time to do their job. Because, again, fast, cheap, and good, you can only have two. Right?
They were denied many times, weren't they?
Yes.
And that's an untold story.
It is. It is.
Why were they denied? Oh, because they wanted Secret Service details to go and fucking flush out 9 different places where he might have a fucking rally. That's why they were denied. He wasn't denied cover in the places he was going. They just couldn't make up their fucking mind. It's like, we need enough Secret Service to go clear 8 different places. I don't know which one I'm going to use. Well, pick one, motherfucker, and get to it. Oh, why can't you just, here's a good idea. We already cleared one of these places. We know it very well. Why don't you go back there? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because he didn't pay his fucking bills. He can't go back to any site he's been to because he leaves behind a bill for security. His followers treat the area like shit. On so many fronts, most politicians hit the same, 3 or 4 stadiums in an area or rally spots or state fairs or whatever. Somehow Trump has to pick a new regional airport every fucking time because he won't pay his gas bill.
So they get within this range of the president. They didn't sweep the area. What also bothered me, like when my kids would get in trouble when they're young. They wouldn't really get in trouble for what they did necessarily, but if they didn't tell me the truth, then they get in a lot more trouble because I've always wanted them to be honest with me.
Or grow up to be good liars like their father. If I catch you in the lie, you're in big trouble. But if it's a rock solid lie, who gets a lollipop?
They told us in Butler, oh, we didn't have an agent on the roof because it was a sloped roof. That was not a sloped roof. And then the current interim head of the Secret Service said the plan worked in West Palm Beach. If somebody gets within 300 yards with an AK-47 and a scope of your husband, an assassin, the plan didn't work.
Hey, dickhead, that's a private golf course surrounded by, I got news for you. There's a machine gun within range of Donald Trump every time he putts past the jail at Trump International. Motherfucker. Thank you, Yvonne, for the super chat. Don't forget, by the way, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, share the show out, let people know we're here. Also, it helps to give a high or a middle finger or whatever. Angry emojis really help on Facebook if you really want to draw attention to the show. That really helps. I think probably the same thing. Let's try it on YouTube as well. Find an angry emoji, everybody, in the YouTube chat and see if that perks us up in the algorithm. Because I'm gonna bet that might be something to that theory. See, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta think of that. Please mention guns were allowed at the Ellipse speech. Oh, yes. In the surrounding area, they're not doing anything to stop guns. And again, Trump has this culture of like pro-gun idiocy where people should be able to open carry every fucking where, which is way worse for the Secret Service because his own maggot supporters are jumping down their throat when they're like, yeah, you can't bring that gun in here. And then, of course, Trump takes down the magnetometers on Jan 6, hoping somebody sneaks a gun through. Just an asshole. No, I just want, they're broken. It's slowing the crowd down. We don't have time. Why don't you have time? What difference does it make? Oh, we got to do this before they finish counting? Why do we have to do that? Nice. I'm digging the emojis. You can even see them going by in the little, do you guys notice the little screen thing I made? That's the chat, by the way, going by on that little screen. Do you see the little things? I wish I had a better green screen. I really do. But I wish, I'm operating with, there's physical limitations. But anywhere there isn't. Okay.
What is your response to that?
No, it doesn't work that way. It needs to be much more secure. And I felt that about July 13 event, everything went quiet. And I had.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've noticed if a congressperson doesn't vote for something Trump likes or votes it to keep the government open, he'll shit talk that person and dox the fuck out of them and call them a rhino and talk about their kids and what they do for a living and all this stuff. But for some reason, your husband just does not want to bring up Thomas Crooks. Why is that? Why? Why did that dry up? Why is Fox? Why? And this is good. You're obviously, you can't ask MSNBC in the case they're not going to pay you $250,000 to do an interview on there, but Fox News will, and there you are. Maybe while you're at Fox, ask why they don't bring it up, who the guy is, what he was into, what they found out about him. Why did they get real quiet about that?
I had a lot of questions. That's why I put to the social media. My video also, it's explained in my book, a chapter about it.
There's a whole chapter about the book.
And also the September 15 in Palm Beach, it was very shocking.
On September 15th?
Shocking that could happen.
And? What was shocking? What was shocking? That your husband at the last minute with one of his rich asshole friends wanted to go to the shittiest golf course he could find, and it happened to be one that he owns. And it buttresses up against like 5 thoroughfares, and people have to live and go to work and drive and all that kind of stuff, so you can't possibly secure it without shutting down main thoroughfares in the area, and he doesn't deserve it because he's a fucking candidate, not the president of the United States. Here's what I would suggest. Maybe, and he said he's not going to golf at his own properties anymore. That's because all of them are they're out in the fucking open. There's nothing special about them. Like, maybe there's one in Scotland, right? Because they've got, that's unfair because they've got real gun laws. Right.
And as I said, like, it's coming from the top, from the leadership. And it kind of, I watched the hearing, testimonies, and it kind of surprised me that one of the former Secret Service would say that he suggests that our family gets a private security plus Secret Service. And I'm thinking, like, wow, this is really what he has in mind. Is like, you start questioning it, because I know that the people who...
Yeah. Maybe so. Maybe, and again, this is because you and your fucking husband and his older adult kids do nothing all day except court the fucking craziest people in the world. And those people, I got news for you, when they turn, it's bad. When they decide that you're not on the team anymore, you don't go from like, I don't know, I don't like them anymore. You go from Messiah to enemy in a fucking instant. And that's the only crowd in MAGA right now. Like, his front row Joes are the first 4 fucking rows now. Like, they're nuts. So yeah, you need private security too, because it's the Secret Service is going to cover him because he's campaigning right now, and you maybe a little bit, maybe even, Don and Eric, definitely Lara, because she's part of the RNC. But beyond that, you guys know some fucking crazy people. And it's not up to the taxpayer to stand between you and fate.
Around us, they are fantastic. But, for the top leadership, you have a question marks. And that's all on this administration, that they could give permissions what to do.
What what permissions what to do? Anybody? So it's the top of the Secret Service that aren't doing their job, and the administration is the one that is making decisions.
Leadership, you have a question marks. And that's all on this administration that they could give permissions what to do.
Hey,
they could give permissions what to do? No. Congress allocates those funds. Now, obviously Republicans have an issue, I guess, with giving, if they give more money to the Secret Service, they don't get to direct where it goes in particular. They can allocate it or whatever, but the administration has already said they would allocate more funds directly to that. But for the most part, these are people who they're basically like, if we give a bunch of money to the Secret Service, they might use it to protect Biden and Harris. Boo. Right? Oh my God. It's just brutal. Please tell me there's a part 3.